Thanks for doing this, Sandy.
All good. All good. Glad to see your reflexes are still intact.
Well, not really. But hey, has the Big Ten decided how it's going to handle games that may be canceled due to COVID? Are forfeits in play? And what is Penn State's take and your take on how that should be handled?
Yeah, I don't know whether the Big Ten. I apologize. I was on a trip late in the week. I know we've discussed it, and I think we're very close. And I don't think I think there'll probably be some subtle differences between what you've seen from some of the other conferences. But essentially, we will revert back to what our forfeiture policy has always been as a conference. And I think although perhaps not ideal, given the seriousness, obviously, the health and science nature of COVID. It's probably the right thing to do.
Greg Pickle, and then we'll go to Audrey Snyder.
Good afternoon, Sandy. Thanks for doing this.
Absolutely, Greg. Good to see you.
Good to see.
Well, all I see is Greg Pickle.
Yeah, the screen recording doesn't allow to turn the camera on. Fans are going to be obviously back at Beaver Stadium here in less than a month. What do they need to know when they come from a health and safety perspective? Some schools have mandated vaccines or negative COVID tests. Will Penn State do that? And then what other things should they know, be it mask indoors or things of that nature?
Yeah, the required vaccination is not in our plan at this point. We've been following the CDC, and you all know quite well what we've done as a campus as it relates to masking indoors. I think from what our fans can look forward to seeing is there are several kinds of adjustments, if you will, as they relate to COVID, but frankly, they also relate just to overall experience for our fans. We've expanded some of our gates to make the entry not only more expeditious just overall, but also again from a COVID standpoint in terms of not standing in lines, magnetometers to make that go more swiftly. We certainly are, and we've been doing this for several years, but we certainly are encouraging our fans to get in earlier, again, to try to limit the times that we've got significant lines and perhaps congestion, as you might call it, at our gates. I mean, let's face it, we're trying to get 107,000 people in, so we need the biggest solution there is to try to spread that out over time. So whether it's playing games on the video board, if we're a game later in the day, or it's trying to incentivize and encourage folks from a concession standpoint, we're going to do everything we can to spread that out so that we don't have congestion. Again, some construction at our gate E. I think fans will really appreciate that. Those that would be entering in that section. Certainly, if we're not going to require masking outdoors unless the CDC were to change its guidance, we certainly would monitor and review that. But if someone feels that that's what they want to do from a health and safety standpoint, wear a mask, that certainly is encouraged.
Audrey Snyder, The Athletic, and then we'll go to Rich Scarcella.
Hey, Sandy, I wanted to ask you kind of about the potential ripple effect here with Texas and Oklahoma. Do you feel like the Big Ten aligns well with the Pac-12 and ACC specifically? And would that be a good fit should that alliance come to fruition?
I think that this is a really interesting time as it relates to what you're calling the ripple effect from Texas and Oklahoma. I don't know that you've seen much ripple yet. I think this is different from some of the other expansion periods that we've experienced. I know the Big Ten feels like it's in a really good place. But having said that, whether it's this week or last week or something after the Oklahoma and Texas announcement, or it's the 2 months prior to that, it's something that I know since I came back to the conference in 2014 and leaving one of those other conferences that we've certainly been paying attention to, and it's all about what brings value. And I'm not just talking about money. Certainly money is important, but I'm not just talking about money. What institutions or what steps that we could take would bring value to our conference. And I do think that there are conferences out there that could bring value from a monetary standpoint, particularly speaking about our television contract and our television revenues, but also from, you all know the importance of to us and to the Big Ten of kind of this concept around like-minded institutions. The Big Ten really prides itself on being more than just an athletics conference in terms of our provosts get together. We share some library resources, some other academic resources. If you look at that footprint of Pac-12, ACC, and Big Ten, I think the number is 40. It's 40% of the AAU membership lies in those three conferences. So I think there are, again, I'm not trying to downplay the importance of value as it relates to upsizing our revenues. That absolutely certainly is important, but that's not the only reason. And I think that there are some reasons around like-mindedness that would be very valuable to a conference.
We'll go to Rich Scarcella, and then we'll go to Heather Dinich.
Hi, Sandy. How are you?
There he is on the screen. Rich, good to see you.
Good to see you as well. I just want to clarify something. Will fans be required to wear masks in the concourses, at concession stands, restrooms, that sort of thing, at games? And also, just to clarify, the capacity crowds, that's not changing. You're going with capacity crowds.
We are planning. Our plan is for capacity. I remember last spring saying we want to get to the point where everyone who wants and can get a ticket can come in, and that's where we stand right now. To your first question about masking, we consider the concourses an outdoor area, an open air area, and that obviously we rely upon the medical experts, and it's about airflow, et cetera. The indoor areas in our suite tower and our press tower are considered indoor and will require mask wearing.
Heather Dinich, and then we'll go to Mike Porman.